Hey, beautiful Patreon goddesses. Finally, this is your December overview. It is December 5th, so I'm going to start with a little bit of a retrospective, go back to December 1st, and just touch on stuff up till today. Um, it is quite an interesting astrological time, and there's planetary retrogrades. There's I'm feeling like we're being asked to slow down because there's so many planets in retrograde, including Mercury retrograde. And some planets will be going direct, I think even this week, and then, the middle of the month, right? So I will give you the lowdown on everything. And I have Oracle cards and tarot cards pulled that I haven't looked at yet, but I pulled them ahead of time. They're turned face down. So we can kind of get the tarot element and divination in here. So happy December, happy birthdays to my Sagittarius people. That's Sagittarius rising and sun, and moon if you like really like to go with the moon signs. Um, Capricorns, our birthdays start after on, like December 21st. So the winter solstice marks the beginning of Capricorn season. And then we get into Aquarius season. So um, I always think of this last month and then the beginning of next month, January. It's kind of like it is kind of a marathon anyways. I feel like there's in particular, just this energy to complete things, which with the retrograde planets, it's really supporting that. And there is some planetary activity that's very supportive of writers right now. So I know a lot of you are writers or are working on writing projects, so this is exciting, right? Um, but not a great time to maybe launch a brand new thing or a really big initiative, especially because we have Mars going into retrograde tomorrow. When Mars goes into retrograde, that's not a great time, especially in business, to like really put a lot of energy behind something because it could fizzle. I'm not saying that it will fizzle, because if you've already had plans to do something, maybe look at, okay, I'm launching this thing, maybe do some kind of more of like, what's the pre-launch of the launch, and do the launch after the retrogrades. Now, I think Mars doesn't come out of retrograde till February. So, yeah, it's like, so, if you think about the body parts that each zodiac sign represents, Sagittarius is that's the thighs, right? And the butt. It's like that, those big muscles that move us, really, that give us the momentum. The knees are ruled by Capricorn. So the knees are like that place where we can bend, that place where we can um, you know, flex, right? So I would say there's a lot of like upward mobility strength with Sagittarius. And then we get into Capricorn, it's the knees. And then I think Aquarius, I know Pisces is are the feet. I think Aquarius might be ankles and calves. Let's see. Body parts for astrology Aquarius. Yeah, Aquarius rules the shins, calves, and the ankles. So, you know, the knees bear a lot of weight, which makes sense for Capricorn because Capricorns can handle a lot of like heavy stuff. So that, so basically it's like the heavy lifting. Um, so the next 3 to 4 months is all about the legs. and forward mobility. And we're not necessarily getting the from Mars that we could get with Mars and Leo because he's in retrograde. I think he might even be retrograding back into Cancer next year, but we'll go through that with the January overview. Let's just focus on December. There's a lot to cover, and I have notes on my computer and notes written. So this was interesting because I thought, well, I'll be instead of doing like a weekly thing, I'll just do a monthly overview. And it's like, whoa, that was kind of like a big chunk. Um, okay, December 1st, the new moon in Sagittarius, right? And what was interesting about that new moon energy is that it was on the fixed star Antares, which is warrior energy. It's at 9 degrees Sagittarius. And I'm going to put these notes in the Patreon, when you get it emailed. I'll put the notes in here because I got notes from Dark Star Astrology, which I love her, and also Astrology King. And there's, a lot of the astrology sites say the same thing about Antares. I wanted to do some research because I'm very curious about the stars and the asteroids and how they, color the story of the archetypes for the month. So I'm just going to read a little bit here. So the fixed star Antares represents one of the important four archangel stars. He is Ariel or Oriel, the watcher of the west. Befitting its lofty angelic status, Antares also looks awesome, a flaming red binary star that occasionally glimmers emerald from its tiny green sibling. And it doesn't say who the sibling is. At 883 times the size of our sun, Antares is the 15th brightest star in the sky and second only to fellow super red giant Betelgeuse. Don't say that 3 times. In size. All red stars have a passionate nature, and like the sign of Scorpio generally, this powerful star has a dangerous and fearsome reputation. So with all of the fixed stars, like Algol, right? We've talked about Algol in the past because Algol is so close to Uranus in Taurus. Algol is the head of Medusa, but it's not just losing your head. It's not just about victimization and, demon, the demon star, as it's sometimes called. It's also the star of wealth. So Antares has this warrior kind of, it does have a destructiveness to it. Um, and later on, again, I'm going to try to keep this as an overview, but I'm going to copy and paste like the notes with the links to the full articles so you can read them. But Antares is also an activated star or was an activated star during the Holy Wars, particularly the Crusades. But, there's a lot of obviously holy wars, wars around religion, beliefs still happening today. Antares or anti-Aries, that's what it means, the rival or equivalent of Mars. This could be because like Mars, Antares shimmers a blazing red color in the sky, and by all accounts, its nature is similar to Mars. So interesting that maybe we don't have Mars's particular um, oomph and support in like big, bold, like, having a lot of energy and stamina. And Tares, because it was activated on December 1st, might actually help us. So maybe I kind of should take back the don't launch a really big thing. But needless to say, Mercury retrograde in general, most people say, you need to like watch for tech stuff, like if you're launching. But like I said, with Mars, Mars is super slow right now. He's basically at a standstill in the sky because he's about to turn retrograde, station retrograde, right? So before a planet stations retrograde, it slows down. So that might make, especially if you're Aries or again, Mars is a personal planet. It's not just going to affect the collective, like Venus, right? And the moon. These are very close to Earth. They're very close to us as humans. We can identify with them as very personal archetypes. So to not have that Mars energy like fully backing us, Antares might maybe is a helper. So, anyways, again, with all the astrology, we can't, predictive astrology to me has so many limitations. It's about going into your personal experience with the astrological bodies and the transits, which we go into shamanic astrology, which I think I should do a shamanic astrology 101 just because some of you may not be as familiar with that. Okay, it says, but this is from Dark Star Astrology, but war is not the only outlet for the symbolism of Antares and indicates just as often the individual's great store of energy and optimism to undertake ventures that others could not attempt. According to the planets involved and the house on the horoscope where Antares is found, such ventures can include anything from sports achievements and exploration of Antarctica or the moon to diplomacy of the most hazardous kind or scientific research at the extremes of human knowledge and ability. Antares rules the right side of the third vertebrae from the bottom, so the fifth lumbar. Ooh, so yeah, feel into that. That lumbar is like the starts going into the lower back area. Okay, Antares is one of the 15 Behenian fixed stars. Its image is a man armed with a coat of mail or a scorpion. It gives understanding and memory, helps against evil spirits, and the power to drive them away and binding them. So there's some magical, this is from Astrology King. Rules sardonyx, amethyst, long aristolaki, I don't know what that is, and saffron. So saffron obviously is a spice. So maybe put a little extra saffron in your food. And amethyst, sardonyx, whatever those other minerals and gems, having working with them could bring you into a deeper connection with Antares. Okay. So, okay, let's go back to plants in retrograde. So I think that's all I'm going to say about the new moon in Sag. I don't think I have anything else. And I kind of was really curious about the Antares connection, which is why I went there. Um, there are planets in retrograde. And on top of that, there's a lot of mutable energy. So Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, a mutable sign. Um, Jupiter in, yeah. Okay, so Jupiter in retrograde ends on February 4th. Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, mutable sign, right? So what does this ask us? Also, I think Saturn is now forward in Pisces, but Neptune is still in retrograde for another couple of days in Pisces. So Sag, Pisces, Gemini, these are all mutable signs. Um, isn't there a fourth one? Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, Virgo. Virgo's the other mutable. So those of you Sag, Geminis, Pisces, and Virgo, Sun and Rising are probably really going to feel this more in your destiny and your purpose, like having to make plans and have revisit them, like change plans. So where can you be more flexible? That's one of our journaling questions. You might want to write this down. Um, Keeping a slower pace, not jumping to conclusions about things, like starting relationships during this much retrograde or starting a business with another business partner. Again, you could be disappointed when all of these, especially when Mercury goes direct, right? Mercury goes direct on December 15th, but he's really in shadow till January 2nd. So you don't want to sign on the dotted line maybe until the beginning of January. And the same with beginning new love relationships. It's the same thing. You know, you might find, oh my gosh, do you feel like so excited about it? And you just want to jump in both feet first. And then January, you're like, what the heck did I do? So be careful with all of those sorts of things. Business partners, love partners. So the idea is less is more. Less is more. And consider this is out of all the months of this year, this is going to be the slowest month. And it's not going to be easy to keep up momentum. Like I said, Mars, especially in retrograde. However, this is a great transit for writers of all kinds, a great chance to finish a book, edit a book. You will probably have to revisit travel plans and possibly on a collective level, there'll be lots of canceled flights. It could be also like flights, not only people canceling them, but flights being canceled. Maybe there's some airline snafu, something's, with Pluto and Aquarius opposing Mars, and I'll give you the dates for everything. There could be some airline stuff going on. So it's also a good time to look at marketing strategies, what worked and what didn't this year, and that way you can apply that to next year. Okay, so we're still in the first week here of so much happening. Okay, this first week of December that we're in right now, and when you're getting this, Venus moves into Aquarius December 6th. That's tomorrow. She's still in um, Capricorn, making nice with Uranus. I think she might have even had a trine with Uranus, um, maybe earlier this week. So, let's see, wait a minute. She's in, yeah, because Uranus is in Taurus. I'm like, where's Uranus again? So they're both earth signs. You could have gotten some, like, I think I manifested a new computer. I told my work, yeah, my computer's kind of glitching out. They're like, oh yeah, we'll get you a new one. And it's like, oh, okay, yay. So I think that was a Venus trine Uranus moment. Wasn't expecting it. And I just kind of said something, just like a comment, and there you go. I manifested a new computer. So maybe look back earlier in this week. Did you have any moments of surprise love coming towards you, surprise money, surprise goodies, something you needed, something you desired? Um, I know this is kind of a retrospective because I'm coming in here kind of late. So the archetype of Venus in Aquarius is light. It's not like Capricorn. Capricorn wants forever. Diamonds are forever. They want a commitment, right? In all different facets of life. Venus in Aquarius is like, no, I want my freedom. I want to flirt. I want to just flirt with life. I want to explore ideas and places, but especially ideas. Aquarius is air sign, the mind. I want to discover like groups of new like-minded souls and have amazing conversations. So that's Venus in Aquarius. So there's also, just the weirdo in you, letting out that unique weirdness that's you and feeling like confident about that, right? Venus is going to help you feel like, hey, you're weird, I'm weird, let's be weird together. There's also going to be obviously a focus on tech. Aquarius is innovation, tech, AI. Um, Interestingly enough, again, when we look at like December as a container of the archetypes, Venus is the only planet changing signs this month. Everybody else, wherever they are now, they're staying. Except obviously the moon and the sun, right? But they're luminaries. We're talking about planets and stars, right? And asteroids. There could be some asteroids on the move that I didn't really dig into, but The only personal planet changing signs in December is Venus. Okay. Also tomorrow, Mars stations retrograde in Leo. So um, you need to manage your energy. Don't burn yourself out. Don't push too hard on anything. This is like a yoga month, not a let's try to run a marathon or a sprint month, okay? It's also Leo rules the heart. So cardiovascular health focus, like how can you focus on heart health? Do you need to have checkups with your heart? Do you, maybe I'm going to have a cacao ceremony at my house with some of my dear friends. And cacao is a vasodilator. It literally opens the heart chakra, but it opens the blood flow in the heart. So, looking at improving the heart, maybe there's meditations. Actually, and I don't know how, I know April mentioned that she listened to the nature activation that was just, it was so powerful for me. But I think I'm going to do more of those in December, and I'll focus on the heart and see what the spirits of that sacred space have to tell us and help us, heal our hearts, and always physical, emotional, spiritual. Okay. All right. So that was December 6th. Neptune stations direct in Pisces on December 7th. It has been in retrograde. So Neptune in Pisces is dreaminess, but it's also pandemic. It's also, I forget how long Neptune's been in Pisces. Has it been since 2011? Has to do with uh, pathogens on a collective level. So again, keep your immune system really revved up. Okay, Venus conjunct Pluto in Aquarius, December 7th. So 2 days from now. This is a big thing. This is a wealth yoga, is what a lot of astrologers will call this. So, um, Venus is money, love, gifts, pleasure, all of those things, conjunct Pluto, the god of the underworld, who is considered the richest of all the gods. So, them coming together is actually really positive. Um, I think I had some good, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I had another note on my computer about Neptune stationing direct. So when Neptune, so there's, again, Neptune is water. It's the archetype of water, right? Because it rules Pisces, Neptune with his trident, right? The god of the seas. Poseidon is his other name. So when it stations direct, actually you get more powerful water events. So it could be flooding, tidal waves, a lot of snow. So we might be seeing that more in this coming couple of weeks as he starts to build up momentum, right? Because once, you know, when a planet is stationing retrograde, it slows down and then goes back. But then when it's going to start to go direct, it's like it's got to get its engine revved up, right? So, um, oh yeah, so this was the other note I had. So the Venus conjunct Pluto. So we're going to go back to that. Sorry, I wanted to add in the note about Neptune because I thought it was interesting and thought it was something we could just look out for. But on December 7th, Venus conjunct Pluto with the asteroid Ceres, who is also Demeter in Greek. So she is the goddess of the grain. She's the great mother. Um, so there is a possibility of, you know, the wealth of health kind of idea, besides just the money wealth, like really like focusing on your and the gratitude for your body, and also looking at what is going to make me feel nourished, right? Because Ceres is nourishment. um there's also other things going on with this Venus conjunct Pluto, which makes it one of the most rare aspects that we'll see in our lifetime. It's basically, she's not only conjunct Pluto in Aquarius, which is, you know, rare because Pluto is what moves into a sign every 250 years, right? So this is not like an everyday occurrence, Venus conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. And then on top of that, they're trying the nodes of fate. So when we talk about the nodes of fate, um, the south node is in Libra, the north node is in Aries. So um, that's, again, auspicious. And it also means a turning of your destiny on, again, on a big level, right? A big level. So again, this hasn't happened in over 248, 250 years. Okay. So, we're also going to see on a collective level, like more tech companies and AI companies and people investing in AI. We do have, like, Bitcoin went surpassed $100,000 a share. So that's big in the news today. If you have Bitcoin, or people who have a lot of Bitcoin are super happy. All right. So, yeah, so tech advancement, anything having to do with, you know, digital money, all of that stuff. Okay, interesting. So this first week of December, we got the tarot card, the Wheel of Fortune. Fortuna, I don't know where Fortuna is. She was in Aries last time I checked. She may be in Pisces by now, but I will have to look that up. But yeah, I guess I can. I can look it up now because I can pause this because I'm doing this on Zoom. Okay, so Fortuna is still in Aries and she's conjunct Chiron. So healing, you know, he's the wounded healer. So there's definitely healing, good fortune, healing your luck, maybe feeling lucky again, feeling fortunate, feeling, you know, feeling more gratitude. So focus on gratitude. There is definitely a change happening this week around your fortune. So, what needs to be healed? And it'll be in a certain part of your chart. For me, it's the second house. So it's finances, it's self-worth. So worthiness is something I'm really working on right now. So this makes sense for me. And our beautiful oracle card is come to me, attracting like a rose, receive abundance and desires. We are here to receive. This is a manifesting, like I said, wealth yoga week, right? Your Venus trine Uranus, now Venus conjunct Pluto. So let me read the come to me card. This is from the Rose Oracle. It says we can be, oops, that's the child within. Here we go. Attracting like a rose, receive abundance desires. This card is about receiving abundance, rose style. It's an invitation to receive the sweetness of your life, to embrace the magnificence of who you are, and also to open yourself up to the possibility of receiving what you yearn for deeply. To be clear on what you desire, to trust that all that's meant for you wants to come to you. State your desires out loud and let your yearnings be known. To ask for what you desire. Don't reach or grasp, don't strive, control, or manipulate. This will leave you exhausted, parched, and brittle. And we talked about this, right? This card delivers the message that true sustainable abundance is coming. Connect with your sensual true nature, be unashamed of what you desire, and when it comes, relish each minute. So this was a manifesting week, and it's not over yet. There's, a couple more days. We're going through December 7th. Okay, let's go to week 2 of December. I'm going to try to go a little faster. Let's see. The second week, we do have the full moon on December 15th. Let's see what we have before that. Yeah, so the big news is the full moon December 15th in Gemini. So interesting, just after this full moon happens, Mercury stations retrograde. So remember, Mercury's at a standstill, so he hasn't built up his momentum yet. But something is revealed. And for those of you who are in my Grimoire Girls and Business Witches, we are going to do a full moon ceremony together that evening. I sent you the schedule, but I'll send you the Zoom link soon. And the day before that, December 14th, we have an all tiers meeting. So everybody in all the different tiers of Patreon can come together and share. We're going to be in circle preparing for that full moon. So I'm excited to connect with you. I'm going to put you on pause again so I can look at what's going on for this full moon. Okay, so the full moon in Gemini is like basically conjunct Jupiter. So there is going to be definitely a big reveal. Jupiter is like basically a transpersonal planet, not saying that he doesn't affect us personally, because he obviously does, but he's also, the collective. So something I'm sensing there's a new birthing going on with this full moon in Gemini. And Gemini again rules travel. It rules the internet. It rules technology, communications, marketing. So it might be a good day to do like a big reveal of something that you've been like wanting to tell your audience about. Maybe it's that book project or some other podcast or something that you're like kind of teasing out. Okay. So when we get on the we do our meetings on the 14th and the 15th, I'm definitely going to give more information about the full moon because I want time to research that. But just wanted to give you an overview and look at we got for the tarot card, we got the High Priestess. Now, how interesting is she? Again, with this full moon, you're going to be getting divine downloads. You're getting divine downloads as the priestess, as this moon, this illumination of the moon represents the archetype of the priestess. And who is the priestess? She's the keeper of the mysteries. She she can see into the future. She can sense things that others can't see. So this could also be dreams, prophetic dreams. And a great day for meditation. And Gemini does represent the mind, right? It represents the mind's functioning and the deeper, when we get to the priestess, it's like the deeper aspects of mind because she's, Cancer, Piscean energy mixed in with that Gemini, which remember we talked about mutable energies. So Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Sag, they're all going to be asking us to be fluid, right? And I feel like the priestess is like, be fluid with your psychic abilities, with your psychic faculties. And the rose card we got is we are nature. Look how beautiful that is. Becoming grounded, embodiment, living in connection. So being in nature is going to be super important, and grounding yourself. But that makes sense with all this psychic mutable energy. How does one stay grounded, right? So maybe for you, that's, being out in nature, going for a hike, going for a gentle walk. Yeah, again, stay gentle with yourself this month, okay? Okay, so Venus trine Jupiter December 19th. That's one of my favorite um aspects because it's so darn lucky. It's a lucky aspect. Jupiter is in his detriment and he's retrograde, so maybe it won't quite be as lucky as um, maybe in past years for you. I mean, you'd have to like think of, look up Venus trine Jupiter last year. Um, but yeah, he's in Gemini, she's in Aquarius. Let me see what my more notes are on this. Well, I didn't take notes, but I'm just going to say big luck energy. And it can also be a big spending energy too, which makes sense. I mean, we're getting closer to the holidays here, all the Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa. Maybe, be careful with spending, but you're feeling generous, right? So I'm all for generosity. Just don't do it to your own detriment. Um, But other than that, December 19th, this is like, so this is happening December 19th through the solstice. So the solstice is going to just feel magical and brilliant. Um, then it looks like, oh, also today, oh my gosh, I almost forgot. December 5th, that's today. Yeah, that's today. Thursday, December 5th, we have a Mercury Cazimi divine download at 14 degrees Sag. So that means that Mercury is rebirthed in the heart of the sun. So even though he's in retrograde, it's going to probably make him even more powerful. So he dissolves into the sun and takes on the sun's qualities, takes on this, so it's Mercury magnified today. So divine downloads. This is again another divine downloads day. I know we've got a couple of different days. I think we talked about one earlier. Um, yes, let spirit communicate with you. Keep a journal near you at all times, not even near your bed, because I think you're just going to get downloads throughout the day. I get kind of like buzzing in one or both ears. I've been getting that a lot. I got that a lot yesterday. So maybe that was the beginning of the Mercury Cazimi kind of falling in line. So, you know, Mercury is also going to be trine, not trine, is he? Yeah, no, he's going to be sextile Venus starting tomorrow or the next day. So we're going to have, yeah, this week is brilliant. I mean, look at, we've already pulled the cards for this week, the Wheel of Fortune and this beautiful card of manifestation, allowing the manifestation, the desires to come to you, to speak them, to communicate them, but then let them flow. All right, so the third week, which would include probably this full moon through this Venus trine December 21st energy. Um, we have Interesting. This card says trust the seasons. Look at that. Embracing change, cycles of life, transition, and growth. And then we have the Eight of Swords. So I would say if you're feeling like not sure what direction to go in, or you're feeling indecisive, or you're feeling maybe blocked, Mentally, take a breather. Maybe you're working on a book, maybe you're working on something. Step away from it, step back. There's power in non-doing, is what I'm hearing. Okay. And this is a non-doing kind of season, right? One of our other cards was the High Priestess. She's all about the beingness and being in connection with the divine, but this is not about doing, right? Which we're getting, this is the third week of December, so we're starting to get towards that time where people feel like stressed out, right? I have to do this. I have to get this person a gift. I have to call this person. I have to make these travel arrangements. I have to change these travel arrangements, right? With Mercury in retrograde, we might be having to change plans at the last minute. So, um, the idea with all these mutable planets is be flexible. So trust the seasons. Our disconnection from the earth and her seasons leads us to believe that we should be in full bloom all year round. Nuh-uh. That we should grow without leaving space to cut back. Remember, I talked about the Venus trine Jupiter can overexpand. That could be, overeating, over drinking, right? Because Jupiter is very like, woohoo, let's go. And, Venus is the same way. So that could make for, overindulgence, overspending, right? Um, before you go overspend, really think it through. Really think it through. When we focus on the never-ending bloom, we forget the importance of all of life's phases. We're not meant to stay the same. Relationships aren't meant to stay the same. Life isn't meant to stay the same. Nothing on this planet is meant to stay the same. The seasons teach us that. Night and day teach us that. Time and age teach us that. Birth and death teach us that. We may return to a place, a person, but things won't be exactly as they were. For everything and everyone is forever changing. Nothing is static. The more we try to control things and keep them the same, the further away from the flow of life and ourselves we get. Change can be scary, for it means surrendering to the unknown of being in the in-between. The more we resist change, the further away we are from who we're becoming. When we embrace change, we embrace life and nature and are forever becoming. Okay, that's what we got for the third week. So the fourth week, we have I went December 24th through the December 30th. December 24th, Jupiter squares Saturn. December 26th, Mercury opposite Jupiter. December 28th, Mercury square Saturn. So at the end, the last week of December, there's some more conflict, challenging kind of energies, okay? Venus square Uranus, December 28th. And then December 30th, we have a black moon in Capricorn. A black moon means it's a second new moon in the month because we had December 1st, new moon Sagittarius on close to the last day of the month and the year. We have a new moon in Capricorn, which makes it a black moon. Whew. Okay, so let's talk about some of these things. Mars opposing Pluto, and there's also a Mars-Venus opposition. So, yeah. Okay, so let's go through these. So Venus-Mars opposition, a partner may say you're not like giving them enough attention. They're maybe looking for more validation. They could annoy you. Try to be patient with them. Sorry, I think my computer's glitching out. Shit. Okay. It could also mean drama in the news for celebrities or celebrities having a rough time in the news, and we know who some of those people are. We don't need to talk about that. And with Pluto and Aquarius and so much Aquarian energy, I think more and more celebrities are going to become less interesting to us. We're going to be more like, what's humanity doing? Okay, I'm going to pause the recording because it's definitely, I have a bad connection. Okay, I'm turning off my video and you can just hear my voice. I think this might work better. Um, okay, so Mercury, okay, Mars opposing Pluto. That's a big one. Um, so this is like the archetype Aries, the god of war, versus god of the underworld. So who's more powerful? Pluto. But Pluto and Mars also definitely can. Boy, there goes my voice. I'm telling you, there's something going on here. The last week of the year, it's kind of making my throat kind of yeah. Okay. So people can be vengeful, people can be more bitter, people can hold grudges. Um, this could also be on a global level with like higher like power, like the powers that be in government. So really, how can this be used in a positive way, right? Mars opposing Pluto can also be being fiercely devoted to something. So pick something that your heart desires, pick something that you love and be fiercely devoted to it. Could be a project, could be to your health, could be to your relationship with anybody, whatever it is, being devoted to something. And you want to avoid arguing over assets, possessions, and all the petty stuff, and avoid resentment. Okay. So that's for that one. So these are all, like I said, this is all the last around the end of the third week into the fourth week here. Mercury opposing Jupiter, that's December 26th. Again, that's airline drama, perhaps. And it could be testing people's faith. And that maybe be on a religious level, but also on just their beliefs about themselves, their beliefs about the goodness of others, their belief in and their faith in uh, maybe the universe. Whatever it is, we're going to be tested. Um, so keep going back to what are you devoted to? And really, like, even if it takes you, like, even if you have to do it every hour, like recommitting to what you're devoted to. Okay. The Jupiter square Saturn is December 24th. So the last time we had this was August 19th. Because Jupiter and well, Saturn at that time was retrograde, I think. So it could be legal challenges. It could also represent evolution in beliefs, especially since 2020. So people's beliefs in like trust in the government, trust in the establishment, trust in medicine, trust in, you know what I mean? 2020 was like that marker where we saw the world change in an instant, right? In that March of 2020 when the lockdown started. It was like all of a sudden we were all one in this global pandemic. So so this is Jupiter square Saturn. So in 2020 they were conjunct. So this is either the second or the third square. So this is like part two or part three of the story, right? So again, those beliefs, those understandings, those revelations are going to be unfolding more. And also about media. What media do you want to follow? What media feeds you, nourishes you versus puts you in fear? And, I don't know, pretty much all media, I feel like puts us into fear or can. So, really look at how much media are you digesting. Could also represent shakeups in healthcare, which makes sense because 2020 was that beginning of like that pandemic. So interesting. That's, again, the last week of December. And December 29th, Chiron stations direct. So again, with healthcare and healing, whatever it is that needs to be healed in your life, wherever Chiron is in your chart, you're going to get forward motion towards healing. Okay. That could mean finding the right advocate. That could mean feeling better, feeling a relief, finding the right doctor, the right therapist, all of that. Okay. New moon in Capricorn, December 30th. I'm going to pause again and take a look at what's going on there. Okay, let's see if the video glitches out still. It might be. Okay, so the new moon in Capricorn. Um, According to this Moon Omens article, I wanted to kind of see what they thought. It offers us an invitation to reflect on the past year, how we changed and how our lives changed since the new moon in Capricorn. Actually, there was a new moon in Capricorn this year that was on January 11th on my birthday. Interesting. So, this is definitely like a bookend, like the closing of the chapter for sure of the year. But also, I feel like, with my 2 cents is that, Pluto also, there was such a Capricorn story for so long with Pluto and Capricorn. So having Pluto not in Capricorn anymore, it makes sense that, we have this closure on the Capricorn story of your life. So that for me is my 11th house. That's hopes and dreams, wishes, um, money, windfalls from particularly having to probably connect it with career and status for me. So look at what house Capricorn is in for you. This is going to be closure of that story so that we're going to begin a new story, right? And I feel like the new story, we've kind of gotten hints of it, but now that Pluto's fully in Aquarius and never going back into Capricorn in our lifetime, we're there's a new story that is unfolding. So I am going to end with that, and we can talk about the new moon in another broadcast. But our tarot cards for this last 7 days of December that have this kind of mixed bag are the Nine of Wands and the Three of Cups. Definitely a mixed bag of energies, right? These kind of came up together, so I took them out of the deck together. Nine of Wands is probably feeling that exhaustion, that end of the year, like I've been handling so much responsibility in that Capricorn part of my house. And it's over. So now I can celebrate all that I've accomplished, all that I've learned in that part of my life. And, might be connected to career for you, right? Because Capricorn is career, money, but it also has a lot to do with anything Saturnian, which is responsibility. So something that a burden you were carrying is pretty much done. The chapter is pretty much done. 9 is like almost complete, really close to being complete. And then we're celebrating that we made it through. Okay, I need to get going, but I pulled for our last week of December a card from the Mother Mary Oracle, and it's 32, Our Lady Who Gives Peace. So I'm going to end with this and send this all to you. This is like at least an hour long, right? Maybe longer. So, Our Lady of Peace, you have been holding on to a deep concern, and I ask you to hand it over to me now. Allow me to offer you a gift in exchange for your devotion and trust. There's that word devotion. I offer you the gift of peace, peace that is now resolved, peace that the material situation is flowing towards perfect completion. May my peace be with you now, my child. Handing over a concern to the Divine Mother can sound easier in theory than how it is experienced in practice. We might think we are handing something over, but if we are worrying about it again in 5 minutes or 5 days, then we have taken it back again. So what in your life needs to be trusted, given, released to divine intervention, right? Like, what have you been carrying, worrying about, that now you realize worrying about it, carrying the burden is not really helping you. It's definitely not um, uh, relieving you, right? So it's time, if you've had responsibility, maybe it was for a child, maybe it was for a certain part of your finances, maybe there were loans, whatever it is that have been weighing on you for these past 15, 16 years. And maybe it's a recent concern too. It could be, but I feel like we we live our life in patterns. So like, look at the patterns. Like, what have you not been receiving help for? What are you not handing over to the divine that would make your life so much more meaningful, creative, light, flow, easier, right? Mother Mary comes to you through this oracle with a message to be heeded. You are either in a situation now where you feel tested and challenged, or are uncertain as to whether or not you should be worried, or you are going to have an issue that comes to a head soon, which may feel challenging to you. Do not fear. She says this: I am with you. I am your cloak of protection and the eye in your heart that shows you the way through. Trust me and allow me to bring you peace. Because sometimes if we think about worrying, worrying is like a habit, right? We have habits of habits of not receiving help when people offer it, like, oh, I don't need that help, thank you. When you could have said, wow, that's really nice, thank you, and accept the offer. How often do you say, oh, I'm okay, I'm doing fine? When really, if you had that extra support, that extra help, you would be like soaring. You would be lighter, you would be healthier, you would be happier, right? I can think of um, so many situations in my own life. So give whoever it is, Mother Mary, the divine, the universe, God, the angels, whoever it is that you are working with, give them, hand it over, give up. Just take a deep breath, be in your creativity, be in your joy. Okay. Um, so we're going to finish this with the affirmation from this book, and the Mother Mary Oracle is by Alana Fairchild. So hand over heart, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Let's do one together. Inhale. Hold at the top and then exhale with a sigh. The peace of the mother fills my heart as I let go into her endless genius and grace. The peace of God fills my heart as I let go into endless genius and grace. The peace of the universe, the peace of the angels, whatever it is. You might want to come back to that. So that is our overview for December. Thank you for sticking in there. It was long, and much love. And I will be back to do your um, sorry, I got a calendar reminder, and of course it set my brain off. And I'm getting a little fatigued here, but yeah, I'm doing a 2025 love and relationship forecast and one for money and career. So those are coming in the coming weeks. So you'll get them before the end of December. And I think I sent you the dates already. And I look forward to seeing you all hopefully in the Zoom when we converge for the final time this year, and sending you lots of love. Okay, happy December. deep breaths, don't push things too hard, stay flexible, take things slower, and yeah, enjoy the season. Remember, trust the seasons. Embracing change, nothing ever stays the same, right? Let things be what they need to be. Okay, much love and blessings, everyone. Bye.